Subscribe now. Click the bell icon. Do like, comment, and share.
My Jinn Husband. Episode 3. Presented by Lamia. After a while, I felt him sit beside me. In a soft voice, he said, "Ah, crying again, I see." Wiping my tears, I said, "Why did you suddenly leave like that? What would it matter if I stayed?" As far as I know, humans never want to let jinn come close. They fear them, even despise them. I don't know. All I know is that I miss you terribly. I don't feel alone anymore. I sense your presence around me. I wait to hear your voice. In a serious tone, he said, "You don't know the consequences of this." Consequences? I don't know what will happen. I don't even want to know. Please don't do such a thing. I look very frightening. Even if I see you, I don't feel fear. It's your voice. The voice itself tells me you've arrived. For the first time, he touched my hands. I shivered. Why were his hands so cold? Holding my hands, he said, "Always put your trust in Allah and yourself. Whatever Allah does is for good. But never stray from His path, and never disobey your elders. I don't know if I'll meet you again, but you will always remain in my thoughts. May Allah help you." I was stunned. What was he saying? Where would he go? Would I never see him again? I held his hands tightly and asked, "You won't come again? You're leaving your little timid one?" In an instant, my hands went empty. He had vanished. My room lights had turned back on. I could no longer hold back my tears. Crying, I thought, didn't he like my feelings? If I had known he'd do this, I would never have spoken. He shattered all my hopes. Couldn't he have done it differently? If he had to go, why come to stir affection first? My heart felt heavy for days. After he left, I had a hope that he would return to prove his words true. But he never came back. At that moment, Father knocked on my door. Hastily, I wiped my tears, covered my head with my scarf, and went to him. Father placed his hand on my face and asked, "Are you upset, Ma?" "No, Father." "Shall I say something?" Ma." He handed me a small packet and said, "Get ready." Surprised, I asked, "Why, Father?" "I'm going to get you married right now." "What are you saying, Father? Suddenly a marriage?" "Not suddenly, Ma. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Today I decided to marry you off. It will be done very simply." "Father, you decided on a marriage without telling me? You won't argue with my decision. Trust me on this." "Father, this marriage." From the other room, Father called again. He placed his hand on my head and said, "Get ready quickly. After Zuhr prayer, your nikah will take place." Father left. I kept looking in his direction. What should I do? Obey Father or resist? If I resist, he'll be hurt. He raised me with so much love and care since childhood. If I upset him, will Allah forgive me? I opened the packet to find a beautiful burqa. I covered my face. I didn't know I would wear a bridal burqa. Father must have chosen someone like a learned man, like him. After Zuhr prayer, Father came to my room. After reciting a dua, he said to say, "Qubul," accept. I could barely say it, but after trying 3 times, tears streamed down my face. I silently called for him, wishing he would respond and save his timid one from this fate. But nothing happened. The marriage was completed smoothly. I still haven't seen the person I married. I don't even know where he is sitting. Crying, I bid farewell to father and brother and got into the car. Sitting beside me was my husband, I realized without any doubt. I didn't look at him. I felt a lot of resentment. Even though he was there, I was staring out the car window. I missed Jinn Sahib terribly. Thinking of him, tears fell from my eyes. I had wanted someone like him as my own, yet the one I got was completely indifferent about me. He didn't care at all for my wishes. I felt extreme hatred toward him. Was my fate always this cruel? I turned back to see my husband offering me a tissue. Without looking at him, I took it. Even sitting beside someone like this, I didn't want to acknowledge it, someone who married me without considering my opinion. In the evening, we reached my in-laws' house, a huge and beautiful home. But except for 3 daughters, I didn't see anyone else. They seated me in a room and left. Exhausted, I felt sleep pulling at my eyes. I opened the burqa and laid down on the bed, finally drifting into sleep. I woke up to the sound of a door being locked in some room. Sitting up, I saw the creature known as my husband entering the room, carrying a tray full of heavy food. He placed the tray on the bedside table, then pulled out a bright red sari from the cupboard and handed it to me, signaling that I should freshen up. I took the sari and slipped into the washroom. Wiping my face with a towel, I thought, is he mute or what? Why give signals instead of speaking? Father finally married me off to a completely silent boy. Allah! What will happen now? When I came out, he was sitting on the bed, holding the food. With a gesture, he asked me to sit beside him. Like a dutiful daughter-in-law, I sat down. He held the food near my face, probably wanting to feed me. I said, "I can eat myself." Still, he kept the food close. Strange. Was he planning to feed me forcibly? My hunger was already immense, so I let him feed me without protesting. Up close, I could finally observe him properly, fair-skinned, broad, and tall. His face carried gentle, thoughtful expressions. The thick framed glasses perched on his nose added to his charm. A complete cute package, really. Only pity was, despite being handsome and wealthy, he was mute. Allah's will. He fed me with care, as if I were a sick patient. He didn't even let me touch the water. After finishing, he went downstairs with the dishes. Left alone, I looked around the room. What refined taste! The place was beautifully arranged. I had completely forgotten, it was our wedding night. Would he stay with me tonight? Just thinking about it made my heart race. Suddenly, he entered the room. With a gesture, he offered a long greeting. I returned the greeting and shyly said, "Will you say something?" Inside, I was burning with embarrassment. He was already doing what a husband should. What must he be thinking? He shook his head, laid down a prayer mat, and gestured. I realized he was calling me to pray. On our wedding night, a husband and wife should pray together after ablution. We performed the prayers together. After prayer, I leapt onto the bed ahead of him, curling up in a corner, pretending to sleep. I hoped this trick would work. I still hadn't accepted him as my husband fully, so acting like a wife was impossible for me. Some time passed, and with half-open eyes, I saw him approaching. Allah, save me. I prepared to scold him harshly if he touched me to wake me. But he just tucked the sheet around me and left. Phew, I survived. I turned off the lights and lit a soft lamp, feeling around the bed to see if he was nearby. The bed was empty. Had he fallen under it while I slept? I peeked under the bed, no one. Assuming he was in another room, I finally slept peacefully. At 4, I woke up to find someone leaning over me. Startled, I sat upright. He smiled mischievously. Irritating. Who scares someone and smiles at the same time? That rascal. He gestured toward the clock. Without a word, I got up, freshened myself, and prayed. After prayer, he was nowhere in the room. How strange. I went out to look for him and eventually stepped into the garden. A mild breeze rustled, birds chirped. I closed my eyes, inhaled deeply, and savored the fresh air. Opening my eyes, I found him standing before me with a cup of tea, gesturing for me to sit beside him on the swing. What was happening? Why was he being so considerate? The care was almost uncomfortable. I drank my tea and went to the kitchen. The house was large, with many rooms. In the kitchen, I found 2 girls preparing breakfast. Seeing me, they greeted politely. One said with a smile, "Why trouble yourself in the kitchen again, Bobby? Will you do everything alone, sisters? I'll help a little." The other replied, "You're the new bride. If you don't do these things now, nothing will work. For the next few days, serve our brother." Both giggled. Their words embarrassed me, but talking with these friendly girls eased my discomfort. After we ate together, he disappeared, not saying where he went. When I went to bathe, I couldn't find a sari to wear. I hadn't brought anything from home. Then I remembered, last night, he had pulled a sari from the cupboard for me. I opened the cupboard and found a collection of saris and jewelry neatly arranged. Wow! He had prepared everything even before the wedding. I should have felt lucky, but I didn't. I hadn't wanted this. The one I longed for was not him. Sighing, I recalled old memories. How is he, I wonder? Does he even think of me once? Selfish people, I suppose. My heart felt heavy. In the afternoon, my husband returned from some work. Without him, I felt too shy to eat lunch. Even as the girls urged me, I didn't eat, stomach growling like a dinosaur while I waited for him. After all, I was the new bride. I had to handle these things a little. When he entered the room, I glared at him, muttering all the polite curses I could think of. He froze, seeing me like that, and left the room silently. Such a rascal. A girl sits hungry all morning waiting for him, yet he strolls out for air. Only I understand my own suffering. Alas, what luck to have such a husband. Within a few minutes, he returned with food. Seeing the meal, I started eating immediately. After a while, I looked at him. He was staring at my eating intently. Irritating. He quickly brought a glass of water and patted my head with it. I asked normally, "Won't you eat?" He just let out a big, "Ha." Oh no. Do I have to feed this grumpy boy? When he says, "Ha," how can I avoid it? Reluctantly, I fed him. To be continued. Dear viewers, if you enjoyed our channel's stories, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the videos, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.